Grand Rising. Hello, Flower Power. I know. It's what, Thursday morning? It's like, oh my goodness. One more day and then we have the weekend already. It is. It is. Hello, Christy. Grand Rising. Love you too. Welcome in, everyone. There's Stonehenge. It's a long road. Sky sets for the first winter of these lands. Waiting for a giant. Hello, Brandy. All of your life you've been waiting. What you've known is alive. Carrying gifts that will change this world. Things that amaze and define. An energy source for tomorrow. Wonderful clearing the air. I can't believe it's already Thursday this week. Can't even. Travel through time. clock went back an hour? The clock went back an hour? When does that happen? Does that mean I'm early today? Did it happen yesterday? Oh, not yet. Right? It takes away the light. It takes away the light. Oh, November 2nd? Woodstock at 7 a.m. It's an allegory to embrace. I wish they would have kept it. They should just keep it the same, right? Stop messing with things. Stop messing with things. You know, I can't wait when this world is run by the people, like councils, like we do in heaven. Everything's run by councils. Even the universe is run by councils. Yes, well, yes, but not ones like Harris, thank you. Only women in 5D. Happy Thursday, Chris. Hi, beautiful. I can't even stand that woman's energy. I can't even stand it. I can't even listen to her. Yeah, let's exclude that woman, yeah. Of course, when this happens, when we do the councils and stuff, it will be a 5D Earth. So there's not going to be any demons on the earth anymore. They're all going to be wiped off the earth. Oh, her voice, everything, her words, she lies. Like every word out of her mouth is a lie. I have seen their nefarious, their plans, their nefarious plans. And I'll tell you what, people have no idea. They have no idea. Yeah, she doesn't. When she's not making sense, she's lying. So it is what it is, People are making their choices, though. They're making their choices. Yeah, word salad deluxe. Yep. I believe that, Christy. I do believe that. But then when I go on TikTok and there's so many people that are like backing her and doing these lives, and I go into them and there's like 500 people in there and a whole bunch of them are for her. And it's like, how can you not see the evil that she is? How can you not see it? And lately she's even been showing her demon eyes. She's been showing the blackness of her eyes. Now, are these people being paid? That's what I heard. They're being paid to promote her. People aren't seeing any picture. Yep. Oh, they're never going to see it because she is not getting elected. But when he is elected, there is going to be chaos, and that is a guarantee, because they aren't going to go down without a fight. Evil never does. And we just have to know that God has our back. And no matter what, everything's going to be for the highest of good. So, all right, here is Rainbow Butterflies. And we're going to start with the one we left off with yesterday. And it's Anyway. Anyway. And if you hear a song that reminds you of a past loved one, it is them coming in to say hello. Seems so out of reach. All right. Grand Rising, everybody. Grand Rising. It is Thursday, the 24th of October, 2024. God is great. Sometimes life isn't good. But when we pray, right, it doesn't always turn out the way it should. But you do it anyway. That's what this song is all about. Do it anyway. Grand Rising, everybody. We're going to get our messages from Spirit this morning. All right, here we go. The chakra wisdom card for the day is the heart chakra. Radiate warmth and sincerity. Grand Rising, Trina. Hi, beautiful angel. Yes, this is all about the children. This is all about leaving a world that our children can be proud of. A safe world for them and their children. That's what it's all about. Right? Radiate warmth and sincerity. I am open to sharing, accepting, communicating, and connecting with others as I focus on this moment, not the past or the future. Grand Rising Monarch. Hello, darling. A smile, a kind-hearted way of speaking, or a hug goes a long way towards uplifting others. I offer care and support where I can without rescuing. I nurture and respect my relationships. Yes, I love this card. I love it. The heart chakra, right? We got to go through that portal. We got to go through the heart portal in order to be in the 5D. These are our healing energy oracle. One step at a time. One step. I see the mountain ahead and dedicate myself to taking one small step at a time. I make progress by staying focused on the present moment, the current task. Thus, I regain my ease of living. Again, with the now moments, right? Focus on this moment. Same thing. Focus on the present moment. Right? Make every now count. Vitality, more heart chakra. Hello, Ashley. Hello, beautiful. I am a being of light. I accept the divine energy in my body, and every one of my cells regenerates. Hi, Sharon. Hi, beautiful angel. Every one of my cells regenerates. Vitality, yes. And then we have belief. Belief. I believe in myself, the beauty of life, and the goodness of God. Thus I have the power to fulfill my dreams. The will of the Almighty supports me. My life is showered in divine light, and my heart opens to the power of the universe. Yes. Belief. Yes, please hit that thumbs up button if you haven't hit it yet. That helps with the algorithm here in YouTube. Here is our Work Your Light Rainbow Oracle. Keepers of the earth. Yes. You are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. We are never alone. We have archangels and we have ascended masters. We have dragons and we have all these beautiful entities behind us, the galactics, our galactic family, right? We have so much help here on the earth. But we were the brave ones. We were the ones that decided to come in and live in these teeny tiny bodies. Some of our energy is captured in these bodies, right? Unbound. Releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. Release it all, right? Anything that happened in a past life needs to stay there, right? Doesn't need to come into this life. And then we have Anna, grandmother of Jesus. Yes. Seeding the light, laying foundations, the divine plan. This has always been a plan. What is happening in this now has been planned for thousands of years. It's like before we decided to come here, we were shown everything. We were shown little movies about what is happening on this planet with the children. And we were shown that we were going to connect at some point. We were shown that TikTok was going to be the app that we connected on. We were shown that the work that we were going to do with the help of all our team, right? I call it our team because we have a team behind us. And Anna, the grandmother of Jesus. Who do we have yesterday? We had Jesus yesterday. So we get his grandmother today, Miss Anna. I love that. All right, these are the Starseed Oracle. The Starseed Oracle. Trust the timing. Trust the timing. Hi, Wendy. Hi, beautiful. Trust the wave that you came in on. I came in on the first wave. Some of you are second wavers. Some of you are third wavers. Time is not running out. Right? Time is not running out. Lost lands, soul memories, and gifts. You've done this before. I love how this is going today with the messages that we're receiving. We have done this before. We've done this many times before, not just once. We are God's A-team. And we come to places and we change the frequency of these dense places. And we take down the machinery that causes the entities on those places to keep reincarnating over and over and over and over and over. We give them a choice. And we rescued the children. Yes. Hello, Julia. Hello, beautiful angel. Because you are called Soul gifts and training. It's time to step up. We've all been trained. We've all done this before. Called. We all answered this call. All right. Now we have our fairy oracle. The fairies, what do they say? Fairy spotting. It's time to go fairy spotting. It said that seeing is believing, but in fact, the opposite is true. Believing is seeing. See that? Believing. Didn't we get a believing card? Yes. We got the belief card too. The messages today are believe in yourself. Believe in the plan. Believe that we have a team guiding us. The crystal for the day is ametrine, balancing masculine and feminine energies. Allow your feminine side to creatively inspire you and your masculine side to give you confidence. Right? Okay, so they're saying the feminine side is for creativity and the masculine side is for confidence. I'm not buying that. I think a feminine can be very confident and strong and, I don't feel like the feminine is just the right side of the brain, the creative side. I think the feminine is all sides, right? We can be strong. We can be, resilient. I truly believe that. Our animal for the day is the raven, the shaman. You are the creator and the magician. Look at that. See that? That card goes right along with this other card we just had, ametrine. Use your gifts for good. Use all your gifts for good. High Val, Grand Rising. There is power in your wisdom and words. Connect with the elemental spirits and glide through the void. Claim your place as keeper of the mysteries. Yes. A totally different, absolutely different way, but still getting the same results, right? Raven. Okay. This is our awakened dreamer. And it says, what's the best use of me? Instead of telling the universe what you want, ask the universe, how best can I serve you? What would you have me do, be, create? What's the best use of me today? Right? I think so too, Christy. I think so too. I do know we have bigger brains. That's scientifically proven. Yes, we do. Unhealed masculines are very left-brained. Very left-brained. Of course, unhealed feminine is also left-brained. You could look at Kamala Harris and say she's definitely unhealed, right? A lost cause. Lost cause. But this is a question that I did ask the universe. I gave myself to the universe and I said, show me what I need to do. Guide me. What do I need to create for you? What do I need to do for this world? Right? And that's where I am right now. That's where I am right now. I think a lot of us are at that point right now where we've given to our higher selves. We're just like, you lead. You lead where you think that we need to go. Here's a beautiful butterfly for the day. My patience is being rewarded. My turn will come. Yes, absolutely. Patience is a virtue. Patience is a virtue. All right. And our ascended master is Melchizedek. Yes. Higher learning. You have learned from experience. More inner study is now required to further progress. Yes. Higher learning. Melchizedek is also the family line. It is the line of the 144,000, the Melchizedek line. Let me see if I have another message from Melchizedek. If not, I'm going to choose someone. Let's see here. Where stays far. Getting where you're getting to, but that's you. Okay, I don't see anything from Melchizedek here. Okay, so I am going to choose a person, and we're going to do an American Indian myth and legend story, and then we'll get our immortals. So let's see. Do I have? All right, Christy, pick a number between 2 and 499. Christy. This is a message for Christy, but also a message for anyone that it resonates with. Grand Rising Pepsi. Hello, darling. 222. All right. We haven't got that one yet. 222. Oh my goodness. The Great Thunderbird is this story. It's called The Great Thunderbird, Christy. Wakinyan Tanka, the Great Thunderbird, lives in his teepee on top of a high mountain in the sacred Pahasapa, the Black Hills. The Black Hills. The whites call it Harney Peak, but I don't think he lives there anymore. Since the Wasichu, the whites have made these hills into a vast Disneyland. No, I think the thunder beings have retreated to the farthest ends of the earth, where the sun goes down, where there are no tourists and hot dog stands. The Wakinyan hates all that is dirty. He loves what is clean and pure. His voice is the great thunderclap, and the smaller rolling thunders that follow his booming shouts are the cries of his children, the little thunderbirds. 4 paths lead to the mountain on which the Wakinyan dwell. A butterfly guards the entrance at the east side. A bear guards the west, a deer the north, and a beaver the south. There are 4 large old thunderbirds. The great Wakinyan of the west is the first and foremost among them. Just a second, I'm going to turn that down a little bit. He is clothed in clouds. His body has no form, but he has giant 4-jointed wings. He has no feet, but enormous claws. He has no head, but a huge sharp beak with rows of big pointed teeth. His color is black. The second Wakinian of the north is red. The third Thunderbird of the east is yellow. The fourth Thunderbird of the south is white, though there are some who say that its colors are blue, that one has no eyes or ears, yet he can see and hear. How that can be is a mystery. From time to time, a holy man catches a glimpse of a Wakinian in his dreams, but always only a part of it. No one ever sees this Thunderbird whole, not even in a vision. So the way we think a Thunderbird looks is pieced together from many dreams and visions. The great Wakinian's teepee stands beside the tallest of all cedar trees. That's why we use its foliage for the cedarings, the smoking up, in our ceremonies, which call for sweet-smelling incense to purify our houses and ourselves. Inside the Wakinian's teepee is a nest made of dry bones. In it lies the giant egg from which the little Thunderbirds are hatched. The egg is bigger than the whole state of South Dakota. You cannot see the Wakinian because they are wrapped in robes of dark clouds, but you can feel their presence. I have often felt it. During a vision quest, they may come and try to frighten you. You see whether you have enough courage to go through your crying for a dream. Your 4 days and nights of fasting and listening and staying awake on top of a lonely hill. They test you this way, but the Wakinian are good spirits. They like to help people, even if they scare you sometimes. Everything in nature moves in a certain way that whites call clockwise. Only the thunder beings move in a contrary manner, counterclockwise. That's their way. They do everything differently. That's why if you dream of the Wakinian, you become a Hyoka, an upside-down, hot-cold, forward-backward man. This gives you power, but you don't want to stay a Hyoka for long, so we have a ceremony through which you can become your old self again. The Wakinian symbol is the zigzag lightning forked at the ends, which I use in some of my rituals. It's a design I like and to which I feel in some way related because a Hyoka is also a sacred clown. And there is some of that clown nature within me. The thunder beings are guardians of the truth. When you're holding the sacred pipe and you swear on it, you can say nothing but the truth. If you lie, the Wakinian will kill you with their lightning bolts. So Thunderbirds stand for rain and fire and the truth. And as I said before, they like to help the people. In contrast, Ukti, the great water monster, did not like human beings from the time they were put on this earth. Uktihai was shaped like a giant scaly snake with feet. She had a huge horn coming out of the top of her head, and she filled the whole of the Missouri River from end to end. The little water monsters who lived in smaller streams and lakes likewise had no use for humans. What are these tiny, lice-like creatures crawling all over the place? They asked. What are these blood-clot people creeping out of the red pipestone? We don't want them around. The great Untiki could place her body and puff it up in such a way that it made the great Missouri overflow. And her children, the little water monsters, did the same with their streams and lakes. So they caused a great flood that spread over the whole country, killing most of the people. Only a few escaped to the top of the highest mountain, and even there the waves threatened to sweep them off. Then the great Thunderbird spoke. What's to be done? I like these humans. They respect us. They pray to us. If they dream of us, they get a little of our power, and that makes them relatives of ours in a way. Even though they are small, helpless, and pitiful, Grandfather put them on this earth for some purpose. We must save them from Uktihai. Then began the great battle between the Thunderbirds and the evil water monsters. It lasted many years, during which the earth trembled and the waters burst forth in mighty torrents, while the night was like the day because of the flashes of lightning. The Wakinyan have no bodies, as we imagine them, no limbs or hands or feet, but they have enormous claws. They have no mouths, but they have big, sharp teeth. They have no eyes, but lightning bolts somehow shoot out of the eyes, which are not there. This is hard to explain to a Wasichu. The Wakinyan use their claws, their teeth, their lightning to fight the water monsters. The Wakinyan Tanka grappled with the great Unktiki, and the little thunder children were pitted against the smaller water monsters. The battle was not only long but desperate, for the Unktiki had spikes at the tip of their powerful tails that could gouge out fearful wounds as they roared and thrashed. At last, the Wakinyan Tanka called to the little Thunderbirds, "My children, the Unktiki are winning. This close body-to-body fighting favors them." All the thunder beings retreated to the top of their sacred mountain and took counsel together. The great Wakinyan said, "Our country is the air. Our power comes from the sky. It was wrong to fight the Unktiki on their own ground, on the earth, and in the water where they are all powerful. Come, my children, follow me." Then all the Thunderbirds flew up into the sky. "And when I give the signal," said the Wakinyan Tanka, "let's use our lightning and thunderbolts together." So the thunder beings shot off all their bolts at the same instant. The forests were set on fire, and flames consumed everything except the top of the rock on which the humans had taken refuge. The water boiled and then dried up. The earth glowed hot red, and the Unktiki, big and small, burned up and died, leaving only their dried bones in the Mako Sicha, the Badlands, where their bones turned to rock. Until then, the Unktiki had represented the water power, and now this power was taken by the Thunderbirds. And the few humans who survived climbed down from their high rock, praising the Wakinyan for saving them. These few again peopled the earth, and all was well. The battle and the victory of the Wakinyan took place in the first of the great 4 ages, the age of Tanka, the rock. When I was young, hardly more than a boy, I went after some horses which had somehow got lost, following their tracks into the Badlands. I searched for many hours. I lost all sense of time and was surprised by nightfall, sudden and pitch black. The clouds that were covering the moon and stars split open in a thunderstorm. Hailstones as big as mothballs blanketed the ground with icy mush, and I thought that I might freeze to death in the summer. I happened to be in a narrow gulch where I was in danger of drowning from the rush of water. As best I could, I began scrambling up toward a high ridge. I couldn't see except when there was a flash of lightning and the earth was crumbling under me. Somehow I made it. The thunder never stopped and the lightning became almost continuous. I could smell the wakangeli, the electricity all around. It made my hair stand up. The thunder was deafening. I straddled the ridge as if I were riding a horse. I could see enough in the lightning to know that I was very high up and the canyon was a long way down. And I was afraid of being blown off the ridge and hurled into that black nothingness. My teeth chattering, my legs and hand clamped to the razorback ridge, I moved inch by inch as I tried to get out of there. But I felt the presence of the Wakinyan, heard them talking to me through the thunder. "Don't be afraid. Hold on. You'll be all right." At last the storm ended and finally dawn came. Then I saw that I was straddling a long row of petrified bones, the biggest I had ever seen. I had been moving along the spine of the great Unktiki. Stiff with cold, I waited until the sun warmed me. Then I scrambled down and ran toward home. I forgot all about the horses. I never found them. And I searched many times for the ridge deep inside the Badlands that formed Unc-Tiki's spine. I wanted to show it to my friends, but I never found the ridge either. This was told by Lame Deer in 1969 in Winter Rosebud Indian Reservation, South Dakota, and it was recorded by Richard Erdoes. So yes, did you resonate with that story of the Thunderbirds? I sure did. There was so many things in that story that just stood out to me that were about what we're going through right now here on Earth, right? So yeah. Yes, the Thunder Children. Yes. Yep. Is Christy still in here? All right. We are going to go ahead and go right into chapter 8 of the Immortal, the answer. For those of you that have not been in here, the story resonates so much. I've been going through some rough days and nights. This is a sign that I needed, that everything is okay. Yes, everything is okay. Everything is going to be okay. Always. This story is, legend has it that John, the author of the Apocalypse, John the Revelator from the Revelations, never died and still walks the earth after 2,000 years. And these pages have the fascinating story of one man's encounter with a virtual immortal. Remember, he found him as a bell ringer for the Salvation Army. And he told him who he was. The guy's name is Joe, and the wife's name is Elizabeth. And Elizabeth has MS, multiple sclerosis. And we're learning things from John the Immortal, right? We're learning many things. So remember the last, he was having dinner with them and she had all these questions, right? So many different questions. And now he is going to answer some questions. So this is chapter 8 in the Immortal. So this is called the answer. John took a breath, leaned back in his chair, and said, "By the way, that's about the best salmon I've had in 1,000 years. Good wine, too. Reminds me of some good German ones back in the 30s. I appreciate your hospitality." "Thanks, that means a lot coming from you," I beamed. "Now on to the question," said John. "The question Elizabeth asked is not usually of great concern for a person who is healthy, active, and gliding along in life. But sooner or later, every soul in his or her progress reaches some type of life crisis or problem and looks to the skies at some invisible being and demands, 'Why me, God?' Or it may be, 'Why my wife?' Or 'Why my child?' Or 'Why my parents?' He wants to know why this suffering seems to single him out and not others who seem to richly deserve it. He hears that God is love, but if he is loving, then why would he allow this?" John paused a moment, then continued. "If and when you finish the 36 principles, the answer to this will be fairly clear in your mind. For instance, When you understand who and what God is, it will be a great help. But for now, we will stick to the basics. There are great truths hidden in some of the maxims of this world. For instance, you have heard the phrase, no pain, no gain? We both nodded. This statement is as good as scripture. Do you think there has ever been an Olympic champion who got where he was without a great deal of pain? For some reason, I cannot see you guys' messages. If you are saying anything. This statement is as good as scripture. How about a successful business person, an inventor, a great actor? They have all had to go through painful experiences or make painful sacrifices. But in the end, the pain produced gain. Now, an interesting point here is that these successful individuals volunteered for the pain because they had faith the pain would produce gain. The runner painfully pushes his body because he believes it will result in a stronger body and eventually the joy of accomplishment and victory. Let us imagine that various parts of your body had their own life and consciousness. See your lungs as one entity, your heart as another, your muscles still another, and your brain as a fourth entity. You are the whole person and are in charge of the general decision-making as to what is good for the whole. Let us say that the brain wants to read a book. The muscles want to sleep because they are tired. The lungs want some fresh air, and the heart wants some romance. The problem is they cannot do all of these things. They can only do one of them. Who gets to decide? If the brain decides all the time, the whole body will spend all of its time reading and will never get fresh air for the lungs. If the heart forces the body to spend all free time in romance, then the brain will be bored to death. It is fortunate that decision-making is turned over to you, the whole person running the body. You can make decisions for the body by taking the whole into consideration. Your decisions may not be perfect, but they are much better for the whole than if power were turned over to a part. So are you saying that I am a part of a greater whole and that this greater whole is making me suffer for some greater benefit of something greater than myself? Elizabeth asked. That is part of the answer, John nodded. Now, to visualize more clearly, let us suppose that you decide that you are going to be a champion long-distance runner. When you start your training, no one of these 4 lives I mentioned will be happy. During running practice, the brain will have too much blood rushing through it to even be able to think. The lungs will feel like they are on fire and ready to explode. The muscles will ache and feel as if they cannot go on. And the heart will pump like crazy, thinking it is being tortured. All these little lives are shouting out the question, why is this happening to us? What is the purpose of it all? Then comes the time months later that the body is in perfect tune and ready for the competition. What do these little lives feel about being pushed now? The brain notices that it gets more oxygen and thinks and functions much better. The lungs are happy they have to breathe about half the frequency as they used to, and breathing is much easier. The muscles are aware that the weight of the body seems much lighter and they no longer need so much rest. And finally, the heart, like the lungs, seems to be able to rest more and does not have to beat as often or with as much effort as it used to. In the end, they all think the same thought. We've been through a lot of pain and we didn't like it at the time, but now life seems easier, fuller, and more rewarding. Grand Rising Mark. Now, said John, moving his chair closer to the table, we'll move this analogy closer to home. It may seem to us that we are the highest lives in the universe and that what we do only affects ourselves, but it does not. Each of us has invisible links to family, friends, city, state, and every other life on this planet, and even the universe. These are all various higher bodies in which we interact and produce effect. We are linked to these other lives through the Holy Spirit, who is the final judge as to circumstances that will be brought into play, which will benefit the whole. Elizabeth wheeled back from the table. So you are telling me that the Spirit of God decided to make me ill to benefit the whole in some way? Elizabeth asked angrily. Well, I don't think my illness is benefiting anyone or anything. In fact, it is keeping me from doing many good things I have always wanted to do. She looked ready to leave the room. It may seem that way, John replied softly and patiently. But for greater understanding, you must realize that there are two of you who are undergoing a painful experience here. In some ways, your husband suffers more pain than you do. When a loved one is suffering through what appears to be no fault of his own, and you can do nothing about it, that helplessness is very painful. Believe me, I know. I was in Joseph's situation a long time ago. After a long pause, Elizabeth sighed, her eyes slightly tearful. You're probably right. He also has to work much harder than he used to and able to take care of everything. Now I even have him doing housework. Believe me, that is proof he loves me. Then I probably bring him additional pain by complaining too much. You don't complain as much when you are ill as others do when they are well, I assured her. Actually, said John, the analogy so far applies more to Joseph than it does to you. Like the story of the 4 little lives, Joseph, through no fault of his own, found himself married to a person with an incurable disease. He is like all of us to some degree or another. We find ourselves in situations that we had seemingly little, if any, power in creating. And once there, we just have to deal with it the best we can. Like the brain, he had to forego pleasant studies. Like the lungs, he had to work harder to supply oxygen or money to keep everything running smooth. Like the muscles, he had to be more active and take on a larger load. Like the heart, he had to put romance on the back burner and concentrate on just keeping your relationship alive by pumping harder to keep life-giving energy circulating between the both of you. Later, just like the 4 little lives, Joseph will find that he has more freedom, power, and strength than he ever had before. That's all very interesting, said Elizabeth, shaking her head. But I'm still in the dark as to why I have to suffer this disease. Don't tell me that it is just so my husband can have a growing experience. Not at all, John replied. However, that may be the part of the reason the Spirit sent a charge of energy that caused Joseph to fall in love with you and marry you. But the benefits of your dis-ease for Joseph are merely side benefits that we all pick up on the road of life if we handle our situations correctly as they come up. You've gone all around my question, but haven't answered me yet. Why don't you just blurt it out and tell me? Elizabeth pleaded, her voice shaking. John looked into Elizabeth's eyes and replied softly and slowly. Whenever you meet a true spiritual teacher worth his salt, he will rarely answer you outright. Instead, he circles around the core thought, so when the answer is finally manifested, it will be understood. Now, that is what I'm about to do. Why do bad things, such as your illness, happen to good people? As I said before, you are part of a greater whole that is joined together by the Holy Spirit. Each person in an individual life has one major lesson he is supposed to learn, one ability or talent he is to develop, and one quality he is supposed to enhance. This triangle of learning is never easy and is always a struggle. For instance, if a certain person was born with the natural ability to play the piano, the lesson would generally not be directly connected with it, because internally this is something that is already mastered. Instead, the piano may be a distraction to tempt him away from his real lesson, which may be in an opposite direction, such as heavy construction. If he is driven by his soul to become a famous magician, the lessons could be connected with the fame and not the talent itself. Elizabeth interrupted. From the time I was young, I had a gift for drawing. I never took any classes, but I could draw most anything in moments, and it would look great. Just as I was thinking of developing this talent more fully, I got this disease. Now my hands shake too much to be able to draw. This ability that you naturally had was your temptress to lead you astray from your true calling, to improve yourself and to be more useful to the whole, thus becoming a holy person. So what am I supposed to learn? Elizabeth asked. As I said, the thing you are supposed to learn is something you are usually not very talented in and naturally resist to some degree. When the degree of resistance becomes too great and you are not hearing or seeing the messages that the Spirit is sending you, then the message must be sent more strongly. If it is resisted again, you may be sent a life-threatening illness, such as yours, which forces you to look upward and shout out, "Why me, God?" I've done that before, said Elizabeth. So what am I resisting? Think, John suggested. Think of situations you may not like that seem to keep repeating themselves, forcing you to do or work at something you don't particularly want to do. I know what mine is, I spoke up. I've always enjoyed doing creative things, especially writing of all types, and I've always been forced into situations where I have no time for creative endeavors, and always wind up doing something in sales or business to make the money I need. I used to hate sales and business, but now I'm becoming good at it. I appreciate business and sales talent as much or more than I do the artist. And that is why you are healthy, said John. You eventually gave in to the forces pushing you toward your lesson and are making progress. As long as you are making progress in your lesson, your soul does not have to send you great pain to move you ahead. So what is Elizabeth resisting? I asked again. She must examine the experiences of her life, look within, touch bases with the still small voice, find out what she has avoided doing and do it. How will I know when I have found it? It will feel very right and good when you finally yield to it, said John. So what is the lesson of her disease? I asked. Every disease is a teacher, said John. You must look at the disease, see where it is located, and the effect it is having in order to discern its lesson. For instance, heart disease must be trying to teach us something connected with the heart. The heart is the seat of spiritual love. If it is time for you to learn the value and expression of love, which is an octave higher than passionate love or possessive love, and you resist, then the heart becomes weak as a message to you that your expression of love is weaker than it should be. But I've had some friends with heart problems, and they seem like pretty nice people, Elizabeth exclaimed. On the other hand, I've known some cruel people who seem to not know what love is at all, yet have healthy hearts. How do you explain that? The cruel people you mention are not yet ready to learn about spiritual love, so their souls do not even attempt to teach them by bringing them pain in that direction. Maybe the cruel person needs to start with a simpler lesson. Perhaps he is just supposed to learn the value of giving and receiving affection. Maybe he is suffering through tremendous pain and rejection because he is not getting any affection from anyone. Maybe this rejection just about drives him crazy until finally he yields and gives into it. For him, that is a big step, but for us, we wonder why anyone would have a problem with it. So what's the lesson of Cancer? I asked, becoming even more interested. Ah, Cancer, said John. Many great souls have died of this, one of the most painful of all teachers. All disease falls into two categories. First is congestion. This is caused by holding in too much, such as in suppression or denial. The second is inflammation. This is caused by not holding in enough and releasing more energy than you take in. Cancer is caused by congestion. The person holds in or suppresses energy or feelings that need to be released, and this holding in produces a growth which is symbolic of the unreleased desire or feeling. Let us suppose that you see yourself as a nice person and find yourself in contact with a rough individual who hurts your feelings. You have three choices. First, you can hurt his feelings right back. Second, you can release your hurt by telling that person how he made you feel. Or third, you can be a nice person and avoid conflict by pretending that everything is okay. This third alternative that many take is by far the worst choice. First, it encourages the rude person to continue in his behavior. And second, it is a deception that the Spirit of Truth will not allow to forever remain in an evolving soul. Don't always play the nice guy, guys. It doesn't always pay. People think the most frequent lie is the check is in the mail. But in reality, it is the communication which says, I'm fine. You did not hurt me, which is the biggest lie. Lesser souls are allowed to lie and get away with it, like children. They get away with certain things because of their lack of understanding. But when a person reaches a certain stage of progression, this greatest lie is no longer tolerated, and the lesson must be learned. And cancer is caused by many types of suppression. Hurt feelings, as I said, is a big one. Denial of feeling is another. And lack of sexual fulfillment due to lack of communication, miscommunication, or guilt is another. All involve deception of some type. You're circling around the answer again, said Elizabeth. I can see that this method of teaching does have the effect of stimulating interest. Now, I'm more curious than ever about what you will say about my illness. That is as it should be, John smiled. Every disease has both physical and spiritual ingredients affecting the problem. I want to reiterate what I always tell you guys. If this does not resonate, just leave it, okay? Some of this stuff doesn't resonate with me, but it's a book, so I'm reading it. That is as it should be, John smiled. Every disease has both physical and spiritual ingredients affecting the problem. For instance, people think that contact with germs produce certain illnesses. Yet two people can inhale the same germs, and one can get sick and the other one not be affected. Perhaps the one who did not become ill was in better physical shape, but more often than not, he was in more harmony with his soul in that area where the disease has a lesson to teach. MS, multiple sclerosis, was very rare before 100 years ago, and even today rarely occurs in the less civilized societies. Part of the reason for this is our overprocessed and depleted foods. Another is the chemicals and poisons that civilization is currently exposed to. You have heard the theory that mercury fillings can bring on MS, and there is a grain of truth to this. But Joseph has more mercury in his mouth than you have, yet is unaffected. The difference lies in the spiritual reason. The seed of the problem lies in the brain and the nervous system. In MS, there is a loss of a fatty protective layer between the brain and the nerves, causing a malfunction or loss of communication between the brain and the all-important nervous system. Spiritually, our nervous system needs a certain amount of protection from our thoughts, brain activity, and our fears, which our brains and feelings tend to amplify. MS is basically caused by failure to correctly direct thoughts and fears into their right place. The patient must realize that unchecked fears and thoughts can run rampant and destroy the protective layer over the nerves. When unchecked thoughts and fears interact directly on the nervous system, a physical correspondence can take place and the person can become ill. So I did not get MS because I somehow do not let my thoughts and fears affect my nervous system? I asked. You create the protection you need by shifting your attention from destructive thoughts and fears. This shifting of attention gives your nervous system its needed rest. On the other hand, Elizabeth suppresses unwanted thoughts and fears. This gives her the appearance of resting the nerves, but its effect is opposite. Instead, she has another deception producing a destructive effect. By deceiving herself and pretending certain thoughts and fears do not exist, a dangerous situation is created, and we have another dis-ease of congestion as a result. So what thoughts and fears do I pretend do not exist? Asked Elizabeth, leaning forward. Unfortunately, it would not be right for me to fully explain that to you at this time. I can teach you around a principle, but you must do a certain amount of soul searching yourself, or you will be denied a great growing experience. He paused a moment and said, "Here, let me touch your forehead." John reached across the table and touched her forehead with the fingertips of his right hand. "Let the energy flow for a moment," he said, closing his eyes. He took a long, slow breath and exhaled softly and evenly. We were all silent for a short time. "There," said John. "You will feel stronger for a few days. I do this for you to give you faith that you can be healed." "I do feel stronger," Elizabeth said, obviously surprised. She looked at John with great emotion in her eyes. "If you are really John the Beloved, can you just heal me like people were healed by Jesus?" John paused and thought of his past. Many healings were permitted at that time because it was extremely important as a witness to the Son of God. The good that resulted outweighed the bad, but there were some problems for those who were healed who were not ready. It is also very important that you be healed so you can help Joseph with the work he has to do. But the problem is that you will need the benefits of the knowledge and ability gained from the healing to fulfill your own mission correctly. All right, we have one more page, but we have 1 minute till snaps. So I'll finish that last page after snaps. I do believe that some dis-ease is caused by thoughts that we have, fears that we have, things like that. But they're also proving that it has to do with the foods, the poisons that we're putting in our bodies. I also know an alkaline body cannot get cancer if your body is alkaline. And there are certain ways, easy, simple ways to make your body alkaline. It's as easy as adding a pinch of baking soda to your water every day. Make your body alkaline, right? All right, here we go. Snap, snap, snap. We're going to empower ourselves as more stuff comes in for me right now. Okay, this is our butterfly. All y'all are on here because we create the new earth together as a group, right? And our past loved ones, always with us anytime we think of them. All right, this is our room, and this is the energy of our room. The dragon energy, the priest, the pan, the joker, the mother goose, the XOXO, the onks, the white rabbits, because we go down these rabbit holes, and the magic. This is also our room. Steffi did that for us, and it shows us that we are always watched over. Eyes are always on us. This is the rainbow butterflies, and this is who we are as a group, and Kathy did that for us. This is the song of the 144,000. We thank you, Mother Father, that you have revealed to us your protective universal light, that within this light is complete protection from all destructive forces, that the Holy Spirit of your presence permeates us in this light, and wherever we will the light to descend. We thank you, Mother Father, that you fill us with your protective fires of love, that within this love is complete protection from all destructive forces and destructive thoughts and feelings, that the consciousness of Christ is lifted up in us in this love, and wherever we will the love to be inflamed. This is a big old hug for everyone in here, empowering and creating. And we thank you, Mother Father, that you are in us and we are in you, that through us your will is sent forth on wings of power, that your purpose is accomplished on earth as it is in heaven, that through us your light and love and power is manifest to all the sons and daughters of mankind. We are the love, we are the light, we are the truth, we are. And divine love is working through us here and now to create the new earth. All right, this is our healing chain. All these people have asked us to connect to them, their energy, so that they can heal themselves. So however you do that, with light language, with crystals, with Reiki, with prayer. So I'm going to call in Archangel Raphael, have him connect his energy with all these people, and we are going to send them love, light, and healing energy now. All right. Thank you for that. There are many different things you can do for people with cancer. Many. I mean, we can talk about that if you want to. All right, I'm going to finish this last page. Okay. Does this mean I can be healed? She asked eagerly. Definitely. But both you and your husband must do your part. You are in a race against time. You must achieve healing while your brain-body interactions are still intact. Or it could be too late. If you and Joseph can solve the first 3 keys of knowledge before this happens, you will be healed. On the other hand, you may be healed early if you, through correct action, thought, and faith. Doesn't telling her something like that increase fears and unwanted thoughts, I asked? Won't such stress make things worse? If handled correctly, it will force her to deal with her thoughts and fears, so she will learn to put them in their right place. John answered, standing up to leave. This is as far as we can go now. It has been a pleasure. As I was opening the door for John to leave, I asked, how did you know I have more mercury fillings than Elizabeth? You will find out at the right time, he smiled. Let me drive you home, I offered. That's all right. It's a nice night for a walk. But it must be 5 miles to wherever you live. It doesn't matter. Walking and arranging your thoughts is a very healthy thing. As he walked into the night, he reminded me of Caine in the Kung Fu series. This time I thought he did disappear in the distance, but I wasn't sure. After all, it was fairly dark. Okay, so there are many ways that you can treat yourself holistically for cancer, and this is for entertainment purposes only, right? I just did a video for a product that I got for my daughter, and it's called ECAC Tea. I did some research on it, and it is very good for cancer. So I got that stuff. I did do a video about it. If you guys want to pick it up, you can get a coupon for it. If you know anyone that would use the tea, go ahead and do your own research on it also. I said in the video that I was using it for preventative, but I'm not. I'm going to give it to my daughter because she has throat cancer. And that's why I got that for her. So, yeah. But I also know that, like I was saying, it is best to keep your body alkaline, right? Right? ESSIAC, ESSIAC. It's called ECAC Tea. And like I said, I have a video on it. I just got some. Yeah. Yeah. The one I have is the same thing. The one I have on you can look it up. Aluminum-free baking soda and water every morning. Yes, Tammy. Very good. Very good. Yes. Put a little baking soda when you're making yourself a cold drink. Just add a pinch of baking soda to your cold drinks. And you can't even taste it. You can't even taste it. Detox tea with cumin, coriander, and fennel. Yes. Yep. There's so many different things you can do. There's molasses and soursop and apricot seeds. There are so many ways to do it holistically rather than to let the government poison you. But everyone to their own, right? If I were to get cancer, I would do my thing and I would do it holistically. And if it's my turn to go, I'm going to go anyway, right? That's the way I believe. So it is what it is. Yep. Yes, parasites. Parasites is a cause of cancer also. Yep. All right. Let's see. Make me feel. Okay. So I also wanted to tell you guys, in the portal 2012, there is a lot of outer chaos going on in the universe right now, in the galaxy. So it is very important that we strengthen our connection with our true higher selves. So there are, in order to do that, you can do meditations. There are some really awesome meditations here that I'm going to put in the Discord. This one is called the ATVOR meditation. It's the Ascended Masters have developed this spiritual technology, and it creates an advanced pillar of light. It is generated by a mothership above the earth, and it descends into your body and goes through the Agarthan network into the center of the planet. So there's that one. And like I said, I'll include the video in the Discord. There's another one to connect you to your higher self. And there's also causal body activation one. There's also a forgiveness protocol. And this protocol will help you release past grudges and resentments. So what you're going to say is, I decree and demand and command to release all my conflicts with myself, with my parents, with my children, if you have them, with my partner, if you have one, with my friends, with light workers, and with all other people. I decide forgiveness. Then you close your eyes, you visualize the violet flame coming from the sky, going through you, and releasing all the conflicts. Throw every conflict into the violet flame and let it go. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Okay? You can also invoke the pink healing light of Angel Ela from Sirius. It says you can connect with Agartha. You can develop compassion. You can expand your consciousness beyond duality. You can receive remote healing at the time of the full moon. You can receive a healing in the tachyon chamber. Just set intention to go to the tachyon chambers on the mothership. You can use Pleiadian healing protocols, which is PB Stardust is one of the protocols. And it says if you practice the above meditations, which like I said, I'm going to put a few of them in the Discord. It will be much easier for you to raise your vibration enough to go beyond the attack frequency where the dark forces operate. This is our goal, to get our frequency above so high that they cannot touch us. They can't touch us at all because they are attacking. To remove anomaly and increase protection, you can also use the following device. There is a mandala, a violet shield mandala. Okay. Also, the situation between the Iran and Israel is escalating. So make sure if you are meditating that you you add that to your meditations. Wanting peace for the Iran and Israel. They're asking you to meditate for peace in the Middle East every. They do have meditations running for that. Also, as you guys know, more and more stuff is being cleared up. Tunnels, children are being rescued. People are being arrested. All this stuff is happening. We have some Pleiades 1 messages also. I'm going to go over with you guys. So let's see. All right. Pleiades 1 messages, as you know, is messages from the galactics that you need to they use a lot of code words in these messages. So the message for the 1st of October is ancestrals keep arriving. Gaian decondensations underway. Attention, Neva Force 300 in projection. Again, you want to feel these messages and what might be the meanings. Attention, PVSE galactic projectors pointed. Attention, PVSE Ashtar command centers tuned. Dogmas continue to be broken. More and more people are finding the truth. New guardians present themselves. Yes. All right. On the 2nd of October, we got ancestral healings continue to occur. Yes, absolutely. Proximity of cosmic events reverberate in astral. Armors continue to be dropped. Silver package reverberated. Oracles continue to be divinely active. That's talking directly to us. We are all oracles. Plasmatic, miasmic layers are being removed. Second movement, 39% non-regressive. Possible collaterals. OP, Stardust 2 prepared. Contamination initiated. 97% non-regressive. What does that mean? So, you know the galactics are up in the sky. They are cloaked ships all over the sky. If they were to uncloak, we wouldn't see nothing but ships. It's one thing that they're doing up there is they are getting rid of the bad stuff, the poison in the air. Yes. That's what they're doing. And that's what it's called. Miasmic layers are being removed. OP Stardust 2. Specific codes being delivered. First reception. Are you guys having weird dreams that you don't know what it's about? Or symbols, seeing symbols? These are codes being delivered. We have to figure out this stuff, right? It's like a puzzle. It's like a puzzle being on Earth right now. Pro-love on the surface, 96%. Isn't that beautiful? I love that. Pro-love, 96% now on this planet. All right, 17 of October. These aren't done every day, by the way. We got a little far behind. I got to put all these in Discord, but yeah. All right, the 17th of October one. PVSE active, multiple active on Prosperity Island. Major commands interconnected. Prosperity Island, I believe, is in the clouds. Cosmic forces authorize intensified transition. Ashteric reports in progress. Oppressors continue to be contained. Missionary directions are balanced. Ancestral patterns continue to break. High humans, S plus D1, 11 guardians integration in progress, 72% non-regressive. Projectors for high humans plus D1 integrations aimed and intensified, 74% in reverberation, non-regressive. High humans means humans connected to their higher selves. Okay? All right, that's the last one, the 17th of October. All right, let's see. We'll go over one more thing, if I can find it. In there? Did I put it there? That's not it. No. I don't know why it keeps taking stuff down that I put up. Let's see. Here's my books channel. There it is. Okay. There it is. I gotta open it with, I'll open it with Edge. Let's try to open it with that. You had a dream a couple of years ago, like the movie War of the Worlds. Yeah. All right, we talked about Sophia, the goddess of wisdom. We talked about the Akashic Records and Edgar Casey. Okay, so we're going to talk about we're going to talk about a tantric legend. Hello, BX. Hello, darling. Oh, that's awesome. The gods and goddesses lived together happily in paradise of the Himalayas. They often argued about who was more important to the universe, whether the gods who were pure consciousness or the goddesses who were full power energy, and they never could agree. After a particularly tense and acrimonious discussion, they made a drastic decision. They decided to go and live gods and goddesses apart and separated from another. The gods went to live in the foothills of a great mountain and engaged with zeal and dedication to practice their favorite exercise, meditate, meditate, and meditate. And the days passed months and years, and they, the great gods, were still meditating. But if you contemplated at some length, you could see that they were becoming increasingly gray, and that behind their closed eyes you could feel an infinite sadness, a bitter sneer hiding behind the non-expression of their mouths. Meanwhile, the goddesses had retired to a beautiful palace on another mountain, and while staying engaged with equal zeal and dedication to their favorite exercise, they danced. That's why I'm telling you this story, because wow, we just read about it. We just read about paradise. That was one of the Palladian messages. It was about paradise. And so they spent days, months, and years, but grayish complexion manifested on the goddesses' appearances like sadness or bitter rictus. But then the gods overcame their pride and decided to go to the palace of the goddesses to admit defeat and proclaim them the most important to the universe. And their pride was in the way. We are gods, but we have ego to overcome too. And then they met, talked, and overcame the pain of loneliness and that deep humiliation their pride had caused them. They knelt in front of all the goddesses and acknowledged that they, with their energy, were the most important. But to the surprise of the gods, the goddesses came down from their thrones and also kneeling before the gods, said that without them, without their divine consciousness, energy, and vitality, women lacked a goal or direction. Everything would lack a sense. And legends ends by telling us that the gods and goddesses returned to live together happily in love, joy, and gratitude in their beautiful palace in the Himalayas. I regard not the outside in the words, I regard the inside and the state of the heart. Rumi. Okay. 2012 Venus transit, the return of the sacred divine feminine energy to the earth. The earth was once guided in peace by sacred females, and over time, male dominance has near destroyed this realm. In early 2012, the sacred feminine energy was fully ushered back onto the planets during the Venus transit. And this was a spectacular celestial return of the sacred female energy to this realm. This moment was the beginning of the restoration of paradise, as this energy could come through to Earth. On a spiritual level, Venus represents the sacred feminine, Sophia Gaia, Mother Mary, the Holy Grail, the Golden Chalice, and all that holds the feminine energy sacred. On a mundane level, she represents how we handle all situations connected to love. She is what motivates us to share ourselves with others, as well as what motivates us to attain good things. This transit was a great meaning for everyone. It offered a phenomenal opportunity for growth on both the mundane and spiritual realities of all. Reach for that place inside you that will help you understand the energy of Venus and how to use this sacred and divine female energy to your highest and best good. I come not to entertain you with worldly festivities, but to arouse your sleeping memory of immortality. Paramahansa Yogananda. All right. That is class for the day. So did you want to go over to TikTok and chit chat? Heaven, let your light shine down. Shine, shine, shine. Yep. Hello, Robin. No worries. It's good to sleep in. It's good to sleep in. Yep. Did you guys want to go over to TikTok today? Uh-huh. Oh, you're welcome. I can't wait to see. I know I missed a lot of you guys' chit chat in here. I always go back and I read your chit chat. And I'm like, oh, awesome. I know a lot of stuff was shared about holistic remedies, and I love that. All right. Yeah, let's go over to TikTok for a little bit. All right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's go to TikTok for a bit. My